Wakanda Forever sees the end of Phase 4. One of the probably the most controversial phase Marvel's done, for good or for bad. It's got people talking about, where Marvel is at and where it's going, and has it lost its way? Blah blah blah. Lots of discussions to be had about that. We've had some already, guys. Let's reflect back all the way back to, I think the first one was.
Actually entered with WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Wait, we're talking about for Phase 4, right?
Phase 4. I think it, and then of course we had, Black Widow was in there, and then we got on the ball. Whoa, so much. All right, guys, let's just cut to the chase. What are your top 5 favorite television stroke movies in Phase 5? Let's start with you, JP.
So we're mixing. We're mixing.
Yep, TV show, just product.
Oh, we're mixing them. We're not going to separate.
No, we're going hard. Dude, we're watching the World Cup. Let's compete.
All right, I'm gonna start with my top. All right, and then move down.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
That's
number
fun.
1 is Wakanda Forever.
Number 1.
Nice.
Instant impact.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
I love how they solve how. I like what they did with Namor. All right.
Yep.
I like how they named the son T'Challa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that, solving the T'Challa problem. This is why I needed you on, so we could talk about the fact that they made it make more sense for Storm to exist and be a wife for T'Challa.
Yes. The movie was just great, and it's like a real salute to Chadwick Boseman without being too cheesy or too dramatic. It was great storytelling for me.
Yes.
All right, moving down the line, my next favorite is WandaVision.
Yeah.
Man, our lists are gonna be so similar.
Well, I don't need to say anything. WandaVision was great. I mean, they played around with so many things in WandaVision, storytelling wise and styles,
Mm-hmm.
So
that
is why it's my number 2. My number 3 is Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes, Werewolf by Night. I love it because it's in the MCU, but it's still kind of separate.
Right.
Yep,
right.
Yep.
It's part of this larger world, but it's still at the stage where it's in its own thing. There's going to and because I'm excited for Midnight Suns, so that is my number 3. Number 2, number 4 is Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I love Moon Knight. And number 5 is Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right.
For reasons we've discussed before.
Yeah. That's a solid list. I don't think there's too much arguments in there.
I got a huge argument in there, but that's because I needed something to not be on my list. So I'm very happy that it wasn't said, or else I would have been like, our lists are too similar. And I don't feel like.
Yeah, there's one big admission for me too. All right, then, Gift, you're fired up. Go to your top 5. Go up or down.
My top 5. I'm gonna go top to bottom because I didn't write it down, but I know it, in that way. Number 1 for me is actually going to be Spider-Man: No Way Home. I think this was the ultimate nostalgia wrap up to a character development, a loss, and then a continuation of a new story of Spider-Man, which is the one that I thought I was surprised that you omitted, JP, but I'm glad that you omitted it. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Spider-Man: No Way Home.
I actually forgot it was part of.
Too late now. Too late. You liked Moon Knight.
Yes. Once you take
more-
your finger off the piece, you can't move it anymore.
That's it. You like Moon Knight more than Spider-Man No Way Home. Fair enough. If that's how you want to go. Anyway.
Number 2.
You forgot about Spider-Man.
Number 2, Wakanda Forever. For basically everything that JP said. Of course, you know, I'm always here for anything Ryan Coogler. But only reason it's under Spider-Man No Way Home is just simply because I think Spider-Man No Way Home was able to create the nostalgia and tie up, be a little bit stronger in some of its base points. But it's like 1A, 1B at that point. But since we have to use rankings 1 and 2. After that, number 3, WandaVision, because it is the G of all shows. The ending will never bother me. It will never bother me once. Any show that gets you this consumed, there has literally been nothing that has consumed me as much as WandaVision did in and of itself. And the fact that they have not created any more clue-based freaking shows like that has shocked me. Because that was engagement every week. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep for 8 weeks straight because you're just thinking of everything that could happen. Even though they still haven't gave us some continuations. Like I still want to know what's going on with Sword and all that stuff. But you know,
yeah.
So that's number 3 for me. Number 4, I actually have it for Moon Knight as well. I mean that one was just interesting. It wasn't like a lot of people talk about like there wasn't enough action and stuff, but I thought it was sufficient. I thought it did everything. I love the disassociative characteristics of it, the disassociative representation, and thought it was great. And then number 5, Loki as well. Like it's just the fact that it blew the multiverse into existence. And that entrance of Kang and the rehabilitation of Loki. And I don't care how quick it happened. Like, it happens quick whenever you know that you're dead and you don't actually supposed to exist. So, it doesn't have to take an extenuating amount of time to get to the actual point, which I thought it was one of the habits that I really appreciated from the MCU this time, where we did not have to prolong what we already knew we were going to get to. It was always just like an episode, maybe 2. Let's get to the actual story instead of just trying to make it a 4-episode arc of them realizing this, thing. So, that's my top 5 right there. Spider-Man No Way Home, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, WandaVision, Moon Knight, and Loki.
Man, I forgot.
I think you guys. There's only one in there for me that you guys didn't mention, but I put it in there for a particular reason. So it's number 5 for me. I put in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness because I thought it just. I love Sam Raimi. Always have since Evil Dead.
That was pure Sam Raimi-ness,
And I love him at the end. I just love the way it just put its foot right on the pedal. But I also liked it because I liked how it was almost a sequel to WandaVision.
Right.
And I like the fact that, I apparently originally Multiverse Madness was going to be the next thing out straight after it. And I really wish it had, because to go into the WandaVision and then go into Multiverse of Madness was like, the continuation of this
seamless, right?
Scarlet Witch. So I loved it for that reason, and I just had such a fun time with it. I know it's not the perfect movie, so WandaVision therefore is number 4 for me.
Yeah.
I kind of almost put them in the same level because
you need that. It's the beginning and the conclusion in a sort.
But you are right in saying that we were beside ourselves during WandaVision. I mean, we were just when Theo turned up, when Quicksilver turned up, it broke the internet. It broke. I just remember stopping it, rewinding it, and watching it. And then I told you, I said, you need to watch this ASAP. And then you just lost your shit because we all did. That will just go down. That series just had everyone worked up to a fever pitch.
Yeah, and I do not blame it on everybody being stuck in the house on the pandemic because it was just a perfectly just dropped everything. Yeah.
So number 3, probably with a bullet. It's an old term when you do your top 10s. It means on the way up. I had Wakanda Forever. I just have to sit with it more.
Yeah,
just sit with it more. But number 3, it could probably go number 2. I had Loki in there. You guys know how much I love Loki,
of course,
because it meant something.
It had real stakes.
That moment when the He Who Remains looks out the window and says, "Look, it's breaking up." We're like, "Oh, wow, this is happening. We are now in phase 4." And just the fact that it's probably one of the very few series that, I've complained several times that the pattern of 6 episodes, this one seems, even though I think it is 6, this one kind of maintains its rage all the way to the end and also just that kind of Planet of the Apes ending where he goes up and so now we're ready. And I guess there's the similarities for me with WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, and Loki is that they're just, maybe all of these do. They just play big into the story of Phase 4,
right?
Which is pretty scattery,
right?
And then number 1 is No Way Home.
Yeah,
I think I put it up there at the top.
Clearly, you love this multiversal portion.
Yeah. But again, I guess if there's a theme here, it's also the fact that we've got Doctor Strange back in it, and it's holding together. But it is just a good movie. Is just. I put it up there with Infinity War. I put it up there with Endgame. I put it up there with Civil War and Winter Soldier, and the first is the top echelon easy, because just what it did brings all these characters together from all around the place, gave them their day in the sun, and made a solid story that was emotional. And anyway,
let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe.
I die.